Howdy y'all, welcome to this week's episode of the Why I Create podcast. Today is an exciting day because we get to hear from our first film composer. Without further ado, let's get into the episode.
I'd say the one thing that inspires me the most is music. There's rarely a moment where I'm not singing a tune, coming up with a song. I'm always listening for music in just the random sounds of life, whether it's the AC unit making some weird clicking noise or traveling down the highway and just hearing those different humming frequencies. I've always had an inclination to create music, and I'm inspired by just everyday life. Really, I think everyone is impacted by music, whether you're watching a movie, you're sitting in a restaurant, and there's just light jazzy music playing in the background. It really affects your mood, your emotions. I think music has a big role in keeping up the morale of this world. I don't know where we would be without it. My name is Joshua Hankins, and I live in Texas. I was born and raised in Texas, and I love it here. I currently work at Zither Music Company, where we make guitar stands, violin, cello stands to keep your instrument safe. They're all handcrafted. So that's what I work on, mainly sanding those stands to perfection. So yeah, I am currently a student, a homeschool student in high school. Some artists that inspire me are Lin-Manuel Miranda, John Powell, John Williams, lots of composers. Yeah, so they inspire me. Lin-Manuel Miranda, his film Vivo is probably what got me started in composing. Just the feeling and passion behind his music in that film really just sparked something inside of me to want to create music like that for myself. So yeah. So the type of art I create is, well, music. You probably guessed that. I'm a composer, mainly for film. Yeah, I've worked on a few projects, personal projects mainly, and I recently entered a competition where I had to compose a piece for a 4-minute clip. That was a great experience, and I won runner-up for that, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, I am a film composer. Most rewarding thing I've experienced because of film composition, I just recently started writing music, and my main audience is my immediate family, which of course, most people's families are very supportive of their endeavors. So when I show my music to the family, they're always like, oh, wow, that's so amazing. I love this part. And then come up with like storylines based on the music. So that's always an exciting time for me when I present new scores to my family. And then also just this recent experience, the different people that came up to me after listening to my score for the competition, their words were really encouraging, and I'd say those are some of the most fulfilling moments. So I got involved in composition in 2022. It was for my sister's wedding, and I was arranging a piece for cello, violin, and piano, a piano trio. That was my first experience with music notation software, so that was very interesting. I go back and listen to that piece, and I was like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? Why? So yeah, so that was a very interesting experience. And shortly after that, my family and I went to a concert by Eric Genius, or Genius. It's spelled like genius. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but Eric Genius, I believe. He wrote a whole album for a piano trio, and so we went to this concert, and the songs were amazing. You can go ahead and check out his album. It's called Redemption. Yeah, that was super inspiring, and got to talk with him afterwards about how he got started and everything. I went back home, and I'm not sure how soon I started writing my first original piece, but I don't think it was too long after that. I wrote my first piece, Garçon Russe. The style was like modeled after his pieces, and I wrote it for the piano trio because that's literally all I could think of, like what to write, what instruments to use. So yeah, I wrote 2 songs with a piano trio, and that's basically how I got started. And over the years, I've just, kept adding instruments, built my way up to writing for full orchestras and doing like full scores. So that is how I got started. So what drives me to keep creating when it feels like no one's paying attention? Because I love it. I don't think I would stop just because no one's listening to my music. Since I've just gotten started, it's not like I got to like a point where a ton of people were listening to my music anyways. But what drives me to keep on writing music is just the sheer love for it. I can't keep all these ideas in my head, so I gotta get it out on paper. What is the thing I'm most proud of? I'm most proud of my latest piece, because every song I write, I'm always learning about new instruments, how to write for those instruments, and different techniques when writing. So every song just gradually gets better. So yeah, my latest piece is what I'm most proud of right now. And then I'm also working on another piece, which is turning out pretty good as well. So yeah, I'd say my latest pieces are what I'm most proud of. And also being the runner-up for the competition in Georgia. That was a pretty great experience. And I'm also proud that my family is there to support me along the way. My grandparents traveled all the way out to Georgia from Texas to see me receive the award, even though they didn't know that I was actually going to win or anything. So that's very encouraging, and I'm just proud that my family is there for me. Probably Eric Genis and Lin-Manuel, and the qualities I admire about them, and just the fact that they were able to get to the point that they're at now. I've listened to their earlier works, and obviously not as great as like the ones that they have now, but just to see that progress and the dedication to getting to where they are now, I admire that. Am I where I want to be, or is there a higher goal? Definitely there's a higher goal. I am happy with where it's going because I can see my own progress. I am always looking for ways to learn more about composition. I haven't taken any composition courses. I would love to if I could find any. But mainly how I learn is just when I need to learn something, then I look it up, watch YouTube videos or whatever on how to do certain things. So yeah, I definitely have higher goals to become a great composer. What do I hope listeners take away from my music? I hope that when people listen to my music, they're not just congratulating me just because the music sounds cool, but it actually helps them with some part of their life. I like to bring out the emotions in certain songs, and I find myself even tearing up when I'm writing the music. I just hope that when people listen to my music, it can touch them in some way. Currently, I am working on building a composer community. I would like to educate beginner composers to help them along with getting started. Sometimes it's hard to know where to start, so you're kind of looking, but you don't know what you're looking for. So I just want to help those beginner composers find their way, mainly film composers. So I am doing that through FERMATA. My website is myfermata.com, and also I have a Instagram profile that you can check out. I'm looking to build that up and surround beginner composers with experts to help them grow in the most efficient way possible. So yeah, that is my current project. That's myfermata.com. So I just want to share my latest project or latest score that I've worked on, and I hope you enjoy. It's called I Want to Go Fast. So I hope you enjoyed that. That took me about 2 months to write, I'd say. Yeah, other pieces I've written, actually, I started early in the year and then finished like maybe 6 months later, just because I needed time to find more inspiration to finish those pieces. For me, it takes time to find that inspiration. Some songs I can just like spit out in a day and it sounds great. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that song. I just want to thank David Haye for inviting me to the Why I Create podcast, and it's been an honor to be a guest on this podcast. My name is Joshua Hankins, and I am a film composer.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. It really means a lot. Until next time.
That's it. That's all. Peace. Bye.